Hi everybody, hi every spirit, welcome very much to the channel. Today let's talk about Sun in Aries, misunderstanding in conjuncting Moon in Virgo. It's not happening right now, it will happen very soon, and that will initiate the preparation process of the full moon in Libra. Thank you for watching, leave a like and subscribe, and let's get started. So we have Sun in Aries, that means wanting to or acting, expressing, and in seeing ourselves or the world in new, creative, passionate, aggressive, frustrated, or motivational ways that deal or are derived from our deep desires, our ego, our image, or new images or new egos that we are birthing. And then we will have Moon in Virgo, which we have the moon that represents our emotions, our feelings, what we attract, how we attract, our reactions, our responses, our places of comfort and regeneration. And then we have Virgo, which is mutable earth, the ability to be mutable and adaptable with your own way and others' ways of achieving and maintaining security, stability, privacy, efficiency, profit, and just like being realistic or looking or feeling, in this case because of the moon, realistic and organized, right? So those two things actually, Sun in Aries and Moon in Virgo, have something in common because both Virgo and Aries can develop and do develop unique scenarios and unique situations. Because in order to be mutable with your practicality and others' practicalities, you have to come up with unique and original solutions to keep everything organized and to keep everything flowing correctly. And Aries is just creativity in general because it's cardinal and it's fire, the most creative, the most spiritual, the most engaging and initiative sign that there is. Another similarity that these two signs share is the fact that they can be very soft, as in susceptible to external input. So Aries, because they are always creating new images, new visions, and new egos, sometimes they don't have enough time to fortify them. So when a counter is received, when a opposition is received, because they didn't have time to fortify it, they didn't have time to know all the corners of their new ego and vision, they might feel attacked or they might feel suffocated. And Virgos, because they have to deal and think with so many things at the same time, and they want to look good, they want to feel good, they want to feel organized, they sometimes correct others and always correcting themselves. Sometimes they take too much charge, or they take criticism, or they might create criticism where there is not, right? So both Aries and Virgos can be too susceptible to external inputs that they might create in their own heads, in their own perspectives, that is a criticism. It might not be there, somebody might just be making a remark, somebody might just be making a comment, and then they're gonna associate that with criticism, or you're talking about me, talking about my new vision, you're talking bad about my stability and my circumstance. But in general, it's a misunderstanding and it's a miscommunication between creative fire and mutable earth. But this is actually a good opportunity, because after moon in Virgo, we'll have the full moon in Libra. So there will be a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, a lot of energy in the air and within your own internal realm and within everybody's emotional realm. So first, if we can clear the misunderstandings right now, the possibility of all that energy creating, initiating, or materializing into misunderstandings and clashing of heads and clashing of oppositions will be lower. And also, we can learn a lot through these misunderstandings. Usually in conjunctions are those type of situations where you might go through a situation and you look like a fool, or you must support somebody that went through a situation where they look like a fool, but in the end of the day, you're gonna learn a lot about yourself, the circumstance, or what you want to do next, or what you, now having that new perspective, know that you should have done better or could have done better with the present information that you have at the moment. So how will that play out? How can we help ourselves go into a better full moon scenario, more clear, more focused, and already in the right direction? Because sometimes full moon scenarios occur because they catch us on the wrong side, on the wrong angle, through like the places where we don't have prophetic vision, for an example. So Sun in Aries and Moon in Virgo will create misunderstandings when it comes to communication, for example, because Sun in Aries can bring a more harshful, direct communication, but Moon in Virgo might make people feel a bit more defensive, or a bit more cautious, or a bit more internal, or a bit more protective of their own space, or of their own routine, or of their own patterns. With Moon in Virgo, people already feeling nervous, already feeling a bit more exposed in general, just by being in the world, by being in reality. People feeling a bit more needy when it comes to make everything look and feel right, make everything look and feel clean. And if they are not able in their minds or or actually they're not able to make things work, to make things clear, to make things organized, they already will be on edge. So those new visions, those new scenarios, those new real situations, those new conversations that derive or are derived from new feelings, new visions, new passions, or new frustrations will basically go into a wound that is already open. But if you can create already, or by being mutable and adaptable with your realism and your reality, if you can close the wound or protect the wound, when it's time for the full moon in Libra, those new thoughts and ideas, or those new high energetical moments from conversations, relationships, pleasure, and commitment will not scrape your wound, will not cut your arm where the wound was, because you already were able to either heal that wound that the moon in Virgo is open up or showing you, or you put some pad and protection, some cushion, so those new hits will not be so impactful, right? Also, through the misunderstanding of the Sun in Aries and the Moon in Libra, we might be able to learn how to make our uniqueness and individuality on its extreme, because the Sun is exalted in Aries, right? So we might be able to take the extreme of our uniqueness and individuality and make it work in a consistent, efficient way that doesn't burn you out. Because a lot of people achieve success and they get rich, or they get everything in order, they get everything clean, they get themselves like clean from alcohol or drugs or whatever, but you can see in majority of people a burnout, right? But Virgo, and especially Virgo in the 12th house for all the Libra risings out there, is about achieving success, whatever it is in your perspective, in a balanced way, while still having the Pisces, while still having some dreams, some creativity, some juice, some water, some clearness, some motivation, some freshness left. Because a lot of people, to keep everything in order around their house and around their family, they sacrifice a lot, right? They look tired, they have no patience, they have no dreams, everything, every time an obstacle appears, they drag themselves down. That's very much Virgo-like. And the Sun in Aries can actually help, even though it's a misunderstanding, because if you're coming from the Virgo perspective, you'll be like, oh, that Aries energy, that Aries events and archetypes, they have no reality, they have no understanding of what really takes, they have no understanding of how to keep things organized and whatever. That might be true, but Aries is it's the first house. Aries is the reason why we are alive, or specifically, individually speaking. So without life, without Aries, there wouldn't be anything to organize. There wouldn't be anything to worry about. There wouldn't be anything to be mutable and realistic about. So Aries spiritually speaking, knows more than everybody else what it takes to be, to exist in the first place. And then Virgo only needs to take that, only, quote unquote, take that and make it work in a realistic way. But a lot of people misunderstand, and they go too extreme, they go too forward, and they make their spirit tired, their mind tired, their emotions tired, their body tired, to achieve a physical routine and pattern, a physical situation that makes them feel safe, that makes them feel like they look safe and they look organized, but they're destroying themselves because they are using the ability to create new images, the ability to create new visions and new passions and new motivations and new frustrations to achieve the physical goal, while the physical, the Virgo, mutable earth, should be used to achieve the vision and the passion and the motivation and the aggressiveness and the frustration as well. You know what I'm saying? So before the full moon in Libra, that will be the jigsaw, that will be the tug of war, right? We're gonna have the spirit, extreme spirituality versus extreme realism, because a lot of people think that Taurus are the extreme materialization, the extreme realism, but it's not true, because Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is realistic, but way less realistic than Mercury, the planet that rules Virgo as well, and the moon is exalted in Taurus. So Taurus has way more essence, way more emotion and feeling and sense of beauty and practicality and balance than Virgo. Virgos are the... And then Capricorn, the other earth sign, is ruled by Saturn, which by itself has already a lot of wisdom and spirituality in it, but Mars is exalted in Capricorn, right? So there is an extra sense of spirituality, an extra sense of individuality, an extra sense of image and ego, and you being the one doing something and you having your own stakes at stake, while Virgo is ruled by Mercury and nothing is exalted in Virgo. So Virgos can't go beyond, or of course they can, but they struggle to go beyond reality, to go beyond the physical realm. Taurus, they go beyond the physical realm to achieve beauty and balance and to achieve emotional fulfillment. Capricorns, they go beyond reality to elevate and expand their reality and to achieve a sense of accomplishment that is their own. While Virgos, they use Mercury to stay mutable, to stay swimming in the same water, which is organization, practicality, structure. And I think the biggest sin for Virgos is to sacrifice whatever it is to look good, to look organized, to look stable. Fuck that. It's all about being stable and being organized in your own way. And that's the key for this misunderstanding. To take Aries, create your own image, create your own way. Do you know the way? Create your own passion, create your own frustration, your own desire, your own personal interest, your own personal life, and then make a schedule, make a structure, make a profit, make an organization around that. That's so key. It sounds so simple, but it's not. Most people actually do it the other way around, and then they burned out. They achieve their goals, but they are not profiting from it spiritually. Like a lot of people that are like, they were addicted to drugs or to alcohol, they get away from it, but they didn't gain anyway from it because they're not supposed to get away from it. They are supposed to moderate it and achieve balance. And then they be looking for validation, they be looking for a sense of achievement and purpose, and it is not really, yes, you're safe now, but you're not enjoying, because why people go to extreme situations about those substances or about relationships or about money? Because there was a negative precursor, not because of the sustenance himself, There are certain substances that are crazy, like heroin, but I'm talking about here like weed, tobacco, alcohol, girls, the opposite sex, money, even work. There is always a negative precursor that is not the thing. Because people and spirits use the thing, Virgo, to achieve a new reality or to escape their current reality. But if you can remove the negative precursor, or why the spirit chases that substance or that situation, it's because the spirit is personally, individually interested. So I know this might sound controversial, but it's true, and it's a misunderstanding. You think, oh, somebody is addicted to alcohol, they have to stop alcohol for sure. Yes, it might need to stop for a short while, but in the end, the ultimate goal is balance, is moderation. Because the spirit, or we as spirits, are here in this physical realm to enjoy our desires or interests, to create something, to go through circumstances. So if you detach completely from what you're supposed to be enjoying, you're not spiritually profitable. So the misunderstanding, and actually the conclusion of Sun in Aries and Moon in Virgo, is to feel spiritually productive and spiritually profitable. So not just having or creating a routine that is and looks profitable and organized, it's also deriving from it spiritual pleasure. And that's kind of the opposition between Virgo and Pisces. It's the same thing, but Pisces go deeper. Pisces has to deal with cleaning traumas, generational curses, expanding your world, expanding your spirit. While Aries, it's more about doing and being those things, not just spiritually feeling and expanding spiritually and internally and in your relationships and in your desires. Aries is more about actually expressing and doing that and being that, right? And actually achieving those things, you know? So after achieving that spiritual purpose, after creating a routine and pattern out of or around creativity, passion, motivation, anger, frustration, and personal interests, you then can go into the full moon in Libra lighter, clearer, more organized, and more satisfied, and do not be attracting or overreacting yourself to the lack of or to the excess of thoughts, ideas, or conversations that show you or reinforce the lack of spiritual purpose and pleasure. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching. I wish you the best thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions, and a whole bunch of individuality, creativity, and responsibility as well. See you next time.